So hello, everybody.
Howdy.
Today is Sunday. Happy Veterans Day.
Yes.
It's I want to honor all the veterans for everything they've done for us. We wouldn't be free. We wouldn't be where we at if it wasn't for the veterans. So good job. Who do we have on tonight? Today is Sunday, November 11th. And I am Lynn Huber, and this is
Richard,
and this is our tonight's edition of Learning with Lynn. So I want to welcome you all out today. Let me do a couple of things. I'm going to move this over here, and I'm going to share my screen. Aha! So now you can see my screen. So today we're actually going to talk about using the Avon Brochure to build your business. I don't think this will be a long call. Hey, Patricia, good to see you.
Hi, Patricia.
Glad you're here. I don't think this will be a long training today, but I think it's important, and I think it's something that might be able to help you end your year off with a bang, or even be prepared to get started with your next year, like out of the chute, ready to go and build your business. So, hey, Rick, good to see you. I imagine Tina's with you. Hi, Tina.
Hi, Tina. And Rick.
And Rick. So let's talk about, hey, Priscilla, good to see you. Thank you guys all for being here.
Cool, Priscilla's on. Hi,
yeah.
Priscilla.
So today we're going to talk about using the Avon Brochure to build your business. And I actually did a PowerPoint for this one. So brochures are the most effective and least expensive way to grow your Avon business. I mean, think about it. I know some of you are saying they're expensive. I've had people tell me they're expensive, but you got to be kidding me. Because if you just buy one pack of 10 brochures, they're 64 cents each. So $6.49 for one pack of 10 brochures. The more you buy, the less they are. So you get 10 packs, which is 100 brochures. That makes your individual price down to 25.8 cents per brochure, $25.80 for 100. Gosh, you guys, if you go to Kinko's, you're going to pay 64 cents. You're going to pay more than that for one color copy, just for one piece of paper. And you get a full-on, full-color brochure with 200 and some odd pages in it for, at the most expensive, 65 cents. At the price that I'm hoping you're paying, more like 26 cents. Because you need to be buying brochures. If you want to grow a business, you need to be buying brochures. And how many you purchase directly impacts the amount of your sales. So what I'm going to teach today is how to build a big business with Avon. And I want to preface that by saying you are a beauty boss. You are in control of your own business. So you get to build it as big or as not big as you want. So I'm not trying to tell you that you need to go out and sell a lot. I'm really not. I'm just showing you how to do it so you can decide for yourself how much you want to make and how to go after that. So let's move on. So how much you want to earn is totally up to you. So here's what you need to get this is what you need in sales to get the earnings that you want. So if you had $500 in sales, you would earn 40% earnings, which is $200 on your beauty products, okay? That's $200 earnings. Once you achieve President's Club, you can get up to 50%. So, but when you're first starting out, it's 40%. So to get $500 in sales, that's probably 20 customer orders at $25 each, or 10 customer orders at $50 each. And you know, the cool thing is that Avon offers, I should have got one of these out. They have their A boxes. So because of this A box, this helps get people up to a $40 order, and then they can buy that A box for $10. So that gets them up to a $50 order. So if you can do that, that's only 10 customers. Most of us are going to be somewhere in between these numbers, to be honest with you. Hey, Sherry, good to see you.
Hey, Sherry.
So you might have, you know, my average customer order really is more around, for my delivery orders, the ones I deliver, it's really more about $35, I think, dollars on average. I have some really big orders, and then I have my little old ladies that order $10 a campaign. So, you know, but again, it's where you're at. This $500 sales is the magical number that's going to get you to President's Club. Once you've sold $10,000 within a single year, you are at President's Club, and then you have guaranteed earnings on 40% on regular items. And then your fixed items go up from 20% to 25%. That means if you're President's Club, if you place a $100 order, you're still going to make 40%. So that's pretty cool. It's just one of the benefits of President's Club. So if we bump it up to $1,000 in sales, that still would put you at 40% earnings unless you're President's Club, which would be about $400 in earnings. And that would be about 40 customers at $25 each or 20 customers at $50 each. And at this level, you would earn Honor Society, which is $20,000 within a single year. Hey, Lisa, good to see you.
Hey, Lisa.
So if you bump that up to $1,500 in sales, that's 40% earnings, you would make $600. That's 60 customer orders at $25 or 30 at $50. And at this level, you'd have no problem reaching Rose Circle. So $35,000 in a year is a guaranteed 45% earnings. Even if you have a $100 order, if you're Rose Circle, you're going to get 45% earnings on that. And then we keep going. $2,500 in sales at 40% earnings would be $1,000. That would be about 100 customer orders at $25 or 50 customer orders at $50. At this level, you'd reach David H. McConnell Club, which is $65,000 in sales in a single year. And then $4,500 in sales at 40% earnings is $1,800. And that'd be about 180 customer orders and $25 or 90 at $50. And at this level, you would reach President's Council, $110,000 in a year.
Wow.
And once you are President's Council, you get to go on a vacation every year, all expenses paid for you and a guest. Richard and I have been on many of these. We actually used to sell at this level, and so I'll come back to that. And you get all kinds of things. You get all kinds of things for achieving this. Oh, Patricia says she hit Honor Society in Campaign 21.
Yeah,
awesome,
good.
Patricia. Good job.
Hey, Patricia, good job.
So then the last one I have here is $8,500 in sales, which would give you, actually, you'd be earning 50%. But at 40%, you'd be earning $3,400. That'd be 340 customer orders at $25 or 170 orders at $50. And at this level, you will have achieved Inner Circle, $220,000. You'll receive 50% guaranteed earnings with no minimum, and you'll get extra special recognition. So here's the thing. I know you guys are thinking, I can't do that. Why would I, I don't have time to sell that kind of amounts. I actually had a girl, I doubt she's on here. She's still on my team, but she's retired. She's semi-retired. She's given up most of her business. She still sells at pretty close to President's Club, but she used to sell over $110,000 a year. She was at President's Council. Her name is Susan. And Susan, if you are on or if you ever watch this video, shout out to you. But you know what? Susan sold $110,000 a year. So she was probably making $40,000 a year earnings. I don't know, somewhere around there, maybe more. And she didn't work any more hours than somebody else who had a full-time job working 40 hours a week. In fact, I bet she worked 30 hours a week. That's the thing you have to look at. Yes, it takes time. Yes, you got to get those books out. Yes, you got to deliver those orders. 340 orders would be an awful lot of orders to deliver. But if you developed a route and you got your customers used to it, Susan did this back in the day when we didn't have the kind of systems that I'm going to be teaching you tonight. She did it door to door. She developed a route, this area on this day, this area on that day, and she worked 5 days a week, 10 days over 2 campaigns, but she was working a lot less than 40 hours a week, and she was making, this kind of money, at least $1,800 every 2 weeks. I think she was higher than that, but okay, so let's just say, what is that? $3,600 a month, and you don't have to work in a full-time job. You don't have to ask your boss for time off. Yeah. You don't have to worry about, is my boss going to fire me because I have to go to my daughter's dance recital? I had that problem. My boss got pretty upset about my daughter's dance recitals, and I ended up not being able to go to all of them. But again, you don't have to do, it's up to you. Back up. It's up to you what you want to do. So you can earn $200, or you can earn all the way up to $3,000 and more, depending on your sales. It's up to you how much you want to work and how much you want to make. So let's talk about how many brochures you're going to need. Because to get that kind of sales, you're going to need brochures, guaranteed. In California, when I was working in California, the Mexican girls, I don't know if that's appropriate to say, but they were from Mexico, so I guess I can call them Mexican. But they literally worked off a one brochure campaign, and they are master networkers. They would take that one brochure and they'd bring it back, and that brochure would be just, every page would be turned down, and there'd be products would be circled, and they would know, everybody would write their orders in their book, and that one book would be passed around, and they would do $1,500 in sales off of one brochure. They were amazing networkers, the girls that I knew in California. But we're not all that way. I'm not, and I bet you're not. You might be good at a while. Patricia says, this is what I do on a smaller scale. Awesome, Patricia. So it's going to take brochures. And, it's funny because I have people on my team that will say, I can't get any sales. And I'm like, how many brochures did you buy? 10. Well, really, think about it. If only 2 people place an order out of those 10 brochures, how much did you sell? 2 orders, $35, maybe $70. It's going to take brochures to make money. So again, looking at the price of brochures, they're still the most cost-effective way to do this. So to get $400 in sales, you're probably going to need 100 brochures. None of this is written in stone. None of this is magical numbers. I'm not guaranteeing you $400 in sales, okay, with 100 brochures. But that's an average. And it depends on you. Some are higher, some are lower. Yeah, Patricia says, many Spanish girls on my team take one book and come back with $800 in sales. That's exactly what I saw in California. But it doesn't work for the rest of us. That takes a lot of work to pass that book from one person to the next. Think about it. But anyway, so let's say if you want $400 in sales, that's 100 brochures. That's going to cost you $25.80. $1,000 in sales, on average, 250 brochures. That's going to cost you $55.80 in brochures. $1,500, 370 brochures at roughly $80. $2,500 in sales, you're going to need about 620 brochures at $129. $4,500 in sales, you're going to need around 1,100 brochures at $229. $8,500 in sales, you're going to need over 2,000 at $429.80. So let me tell you how it worked when back when I was in California and I was selling at President's Council. I'm starting over here in Salt Lake. My sales are roughly $1,500 a campaign right now. But when I was in California, I did I was selling about $5,000 to $6,000 a campaign, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But I would do reminder calls on Friday, and on Friday I might have $800 in sales, and then I would do the reminder calls, and by Monday I would have $5,000 to $6,000 in sales because those reminder calls are huge. We're going to talk about that. But here's the deal. Yes, $429 is a lot of money for brochures, but it's going to get you $8,000 in sales. You don't think it's worth that to spend $400 to get $8,000 in sales? Yes, Patricia, you have 100 books and you average 1,000. You're probably above average. But these numbers, like I said, they're not set in stone, so it's different for everybody. But think about it. If you want $1,000 in sales, you're going to need about 250 brochures, which is going to cost you $55, but you're going to get $1,000 in sales. Back when I was doing about $5,000 to $6,000 in sales, I was doing about 1,300 brochures every campaign. That means Richard and I were labeling brochures every night in front of the TV. I didn't put them all out. I used a lot of them for team members because I was recruiting a lot, and I would give them books to get started. And all that. So, there's lots of different things you can do with those brochures. So now you have all these brochures. What are you going to do with them? So first off, be ready. Be sure to put your contact information on the back of every brochure, and a recruiting label on the front. It doesn't matter what you say on here. It's totally up to you. But earn extra money, get your Christmas paid for, earn 40%, or earn $1,000 in the next 90 days and get 40% commission. Whatever you want to put on here, it doesn't matter. Just get their attention about selling Avon. And so Patricia says she's built up her customer base so many that she gives books to order every campaign. Yeah, if you work it, you can do that. On the back, what I do, 2 things. If it's a current customer, they get my order dates on the back of the book. They get my contact information and my order dates. If I'm prospecting, then I have my contact information and I say buy online. use code WELCOME10 for 10% off, and Sell Avon, same thing at my website. Okay. So then, if you don't know how to do labels, or if you're not computer literate, Avon offers labels for you. You can go to youravon.com. On the very front page, scroll down to the bottom of the page, and it's under Avon Advantage, and then Avon Logo, Business Tools, Avery, and then it says Avon Recruit, Retain, Grow. Click on that. They have all kinds of labels already ready for you. They make it really easy for you to print labels. So if you don't know how to do it, go to youravon.com. They have it all ready for you. And then have drawing slips ready to get their contact information. I can't stress this enough. If you're giving books out to people and you're not getting their contact information, you're throwing those books away. I mean, some people will order, but now you have no control. Now you're passively sitting back hoping somebody will order, and you have absolutely no control over it. So these drawing slips, you can download them from onlinebeautybiz.com. You also can, they're in the files section of the Online Beauty Biz Facebook group. I use these. I keep them with me when I pass out an Avon brochure. And you know what? We do it lots of different ways. We put books on doorsteps. We knock on doors. We show people, would you like an Avon brochure? We talk to people in doctors' offices. I stand outside stores and talk to people as they're coming in or out of the store. And when you're taking a brochure, you want to hand it to them. You want to assume they're going to take it. I don't know if you can even see me, but assume they're going to take it, hand it to them. Don't say, would you like an Avon brochure? No, it's, would you like an Avon brochure? If you put it right in their face or where their hand is, they're going to take it. And then I say, I mail my brochures. Would you like to get on my mailing list? I mail them. I use campaign mailer, and that works perfectly for me. And the thing is, I can't tell you how many times I'll hear somebody say, oh, I haven't seen a book in forever. Yeah, I would love one. And then I say, I mail my brochures. Would you like to get on my mailing list? Yes. There's not even any hesitation. And I give them this drawing slip. They fill it out. Look at these cool questions. I already have an Avon representative, yes or no. I mean, if they do already have one, I don't want to be mailing them books. They can get it from their representative. I would like to receive brochures on a regular basis, yes or no. And I would like to learn more about earning money with Avon. And, if you're standing there while they're filling it out, you can say that to them. You can say, hey, have you ever thought about making extra money with Avon? And that might get them thinking, or even just reading it on that form might get them thinking. And it's just that simple. Tina, my pal Tina, who's on my team, she does an amazing job. She has a little notebook, just a little tiny notebook, like a keychain that hangs from her purse that she got at Walmart, I think.
Yeah.
And so she asked somebody, would you like an Avon brochure? And then she pulls out her little notebook and she says, can you give me your name and number so I can follow up with you before I place my order? So I can let you know when my next order goes in. And, because she's confident about it, because she doesn't act like she's afraid to ask them, they're like, sure. And they write it down for her. It's all about, what do you expect? If you are comfortable doing it, Patricia, it's on onlinebeautybiz.com, and you can download it from our Facebook group, Online Beauty Biz. So, and I see some more questions. I'll come back to that. But so if you're confident and you're giving them a book and you're confident and you ask for their name and their name and phone number, they usually will give it to you. And if they don't, that's okay. Then just say, oh, that's all right. My name and number's on the back. But try to get it as much as you can. So Peggy says, Peggy is brand new. Welcome, Peggy.
Hey,
Welcome
Peggy.
to our team. She's I'm very new. I was wondering if you purchase your business cards, and if so, what types of places do you leave them? I actually do purchase business cards, and I do give them out, but I mostly use the brochure, not a business card.
Mm-hmm.
This is my business card, and this is what I give out to everybody. And if I meet somebody and I don't have a brochure with me, then obviously I'll give them a business card, or I give people business cards at different times and like when we do shows and stuff like that. But this brochure is my business card. I use this way more than I use my business cards, because they're not going to see something they want to order off my business card. In here, they might find something they want. So
Patricia asked a question there.
Patricia asked for a copy of that slip that I told you where that's at.
Down right there.
Patricia McRobert, she says, I've started listing the 3 dates I can order from the books that I give to customers. so they can hang on to them or pass them on to somebody to shop from them. Patricia, that's what I do too for my current customers. They get the 3 dates. So that, and sometimes customers like to budget, like they might see a whole bunch of things they want, but they can't afford it all. And so if they know that they can order it again by this date or this date, then they can spread it out. But that's what I do for my current customers. But actually, that's not even true. That's what I do. We have a little bit of a route that we go to doctor's offices and stuff like that, where we actually take books in there every 2 weeks. And then we pick up orders while we're in there and deliver orders and that type of thing. Those have 3 dates on them. I mail my brochures from Campaign Mailer. And so because I use Campaign Mailer, I put the effective dates that it's effective on the website. Because and every customer gets a book from me by Campaign Mailer, other than the ones that are on my route. All my regular customers, and it doesn't even matter if they're a block away from me, they get their book from Campaign Mailer. We'll go into that a little more. We'll go into that. Patricia, we'll go back into that a little more. Okay, so now we're going to get into that. So you asked and I answered. Campaign Mailer. Do you know what? If you take a brochure down to the post office and you put it in an envelope and you put a stamp on it, it's going to cost you $2.50 or more to mail.
Plus the brochure.
Plus you have to buy the brochure.
Yeah.
So going to Campaign Mailer, it depends on the quantity you do. But even the very smallest quantity, even 1 through 9 brochures, it's only $1.49 each.
Including the brochure.
And that includes the brochure. So that's what, 25 cents or 64 cents, depending on what you're paying for your brochure. That's included in this price. The more you buy, the less they are. And I do well over 100. So I'm paying $1.09 each. And it's worth it to me to make sure everybody gets a brochure. Like I said, even if they're a block away from me, unless they're on my little business, my medical office route, they get it in the mail. So on my brochure, this is what my label looks like. So you go to Campaign Mailer, you sign up, it's free. You can tell them when you want your books to go. They have like 5 or 6 different schedules, and you can choose which one you want. It's not automatic. I mean, they'll email you and remind you that, hey, the D mailer has to be in by, in fact, I do D as in dog mailer, and I have to have it in by tomorrow. So they email me and tell me that. So on here, I put our name, phone number, email, shop 22. This was from Campaign 22. So shop Campaign 22 online, and those are the dates. Free shipping online with $40 order, get 10% off, and I put my website. My current customers know that they can call me with an order or email me or whatever they want to do. But everybody else knows that if they want this price of this current brochure, they can get it from those dates. And here's what's cool is you can start small. You can just do 1 or 2 people if you want to. One of the girls in Utah, Carlene, and I don't know if Carlene will ever see this video, but Carlene, she started talking to us about that. She puts her Avon Alma leads on the brochure. So she's doing a lesser quantity because she's just sending them to Alma leads. But she's converted some of those leads because she's put them on Campaign Mailer, had them mail a brochure to them. And then she sends them a text or whatever saying, hey, I mailed you a brochure. Let me know what you think. And when they see the brochure, then they get excited and are more likely to sign up. So that works for her. But it doesn't matter. This will grow with you as you grow. So even if you're only doing 1 brochure, you could get started. I also automate all my follow-ups. Remember I said earlier that if you give away all these books and you don't get a way to follow up with them, you might as well throw them away. I mean, I'm talking about 1,300 brochures or 1,000 brochures or whatever the quantity is that you're looking at buying. If you don't, and let's just say you do 100, you just do 100 brochures. If you don't follow up with them, you are not going to get orders. You will get a couple, but you won't. Like what I said earlier is, Patricia says, did you ever think of listing 3 brochure dates? You know what, Patricia, there's only so much room on that label and it's packed. I can't get any more on it. So, yeah. And
it works best to do it for an online order for the people that get it.
Yeah, it works best for me. And the truth is I like online orders better. Mm-hmm. But I have lots of delivery customers too. But anyway, let's say you're doing 100 brochures and you give out 100 brochures and you don't do follow-ups. you might get 3 orders out of it. I'm sorry, guys, but people are busy. And I know this is going to sound really gross, but there's going to be people that are sitting in the bathroom and they're looking at your brochure. And that's the only time they have to look at it. Or maybe they're in bed and they're getting ready to go to sleep for the night and they're looking at your brochure. And neither one of those times is good times to call you. So they might bend the pages down. They might mark what they want, but then they forget to call you later. And if you do that reminder call or text or whatever, then that more than likely they will say, oh yeah, hold on, let me get my book. I marked up the pages, and you'll get an order. If you don't, sooner or later they're going to clean their house and they're going to see it and they're going to, oh, that's garbage, and they're going to throw it away. It's just the way it is. We're all really busy right now. We're all multitasking all day long. So what I do is I take my customers and I divide them into who is cell phones, who is mobile phones, and who is landlines. A lot of my little old ladies, they're landlines, you know. So I divide them up. I figure out who is cell phone and who is landline. And you can find that on phonevalidator.com, I think is it. Just do a Google search for phone validator. You can put the phone number in and it will tell you if it's a cell phone or a landline. So what I do is I use dial my calls for everybody who has a landline. And I just record a quick, it's less than 30 seconds. I keep it less than 30 seconds because that's where the price break is. So I record it like less than 30 seconds. Hi, this is Lynn, your Avon lady. Just a quick reminder, my order goes in on Wednesday. If there's anything you want, please let me know by tomorrow evening. If you don't want anything, no problem. Have a great week. And it's just that simple. And I record that message. I send it to my list. I just say schedule a broadcast. It goes to my list, which I've already put in there. I add for all of my lists, for campaign mailer, for my text list, for my dial my calls, I add and delete people every day as needed. So if I get a new customer, I put them in right away. So when it comes time to schedule it, I don't have to worry about it. It's already all set. So anyway, I schedule it. My order goes in on Wednesday. This is my schedule. I know you all have your own, but my order goes in on Wednesday. So I schedule my calls for Monday morning at 10 a.m. That seems to work good for me. Back in the day in California, texting wasn't such a big thing then. Most everybody was on, I used a different service called Voice Shot, but it was the same thing. I recorded the message. I didn't text anybody.
They had landlines, yeah.
Yeah, they all got their message on the phone, and I pre-recorded that message and blasted it out. And I did it, back then I had to have my order in. Well, it was by Wednesday too because I was trendsetter. But I started doing it like on Saturday. And what I found was, you know, it's a pre-recorded message. As soon as they answer, it starts playing. And if it's a kid or a husband, it's like, Mom, it's for you. And by the time she gets to the phone, the message is over. So I learned by doing it on Friday at 10 a.m., I was more likely to either get a mom home or get on voicemail because kids and fathers were typically not home during that time.
At school or at work.
Yeah. So now I do it on Monday at 10 a.m. And I say, please get your order to me by tomorrow evening if you want anything. And so those are my phone messages. Then I do text messages, and I use a service called Text Magic. And I have a list. I have a list called Avon customers, and it looks like there was 153 people on that list. Now it's like almost 300. I keep growing every day, all I do is I send a text to that list. This is Lynn with Avon. Quick reminder, my campaign, whatever order it goes in Wednesday. If I can order anything for you, please let me know by tomorrow. Have a great day. What I like about Text Magic is they have an app for your phone that works just like text on your phone. So if somebody responds, you can go into the app and the response will be there just like a text. And Dial My Calls wants to charge you more money for that, to have that service. You don't get the return calls. So if somebody texts you back, they offer text, but if somebody responds, you don't get it unless you pay more money. So that's why I don't use Dial My Calls for texts. And what I have found is a lot of times customers will respond and, oh, I need 2 bubble baths, thanks. And I don't want to lose that order, right? Dial My Calls is, I think, 6 or 7 cents a text, and I mean a call. And Text Magic is, I think, 4 cents a text. So seriously, you can text 100 people for $4. So it's not like going to cost you anything. Both of them offer monthly plans. I figured out when I put a pencil to it, it was cheaper for me just to buy credits and just use the points or use the credits as I go rather than the monthly plan. At some point when I get bigger, it might be worth it to do the plan. But for right now, just buy the credits and just use them as you go. I have on my blog, onlinebeautybiz.com/automate-your-follow-ups, gives you all of the information. There's links where you can sign up for these programs. There's instructions on what I say, how I say it, and all of that. So you want to check that out. So now let's look. So Patricia is asking me, did you ever think of listing 3 brochure dates and saying shop using product number after this date? Patricia, let me show you something. I literally am using every inch of this label. So I don't have room. And so I choose not to. So anyway, you can. You absolutely can.
Yeah, also on that too, you want to keep it simple. You want to keep it simple so that they see that, they read it, they say, oh, I can order out of this book. They go online and they can order there. If you get them confused and they have to do all kinds of fancy stuff on the computer, they're going to get lost. They're not going to place an order. Keep it simple and just boom. This campaign is online right now. Come on here and order. Boom.
And my customers, when they call me, they know they can back order 2 campaigns. I tell them that.
Yeah.
New people, when I'm prospecting, maybe they don't know, but they will if they talk to me or at some point, they'll know that. But it's just too much for me to put it on my label right now. It's just not something. I mean, I think, and Richard's right, we don't want to confuse them. And my label is already really busy and really full.
Everything's there.
Okay. Actually, that's all I have. So if you go to onlinebeautybiz.com, if you're on a cell phone, I show this every time, but I do this because I know some people are, and it becomes an issue. If you're on a cell phone, it might look like this, okay? And there's about 6 blog posts on the first page. So scroll all the way to the bottom. And at the bottom, you can sign up for our newsletter. If you're on my team, you're already signed up. But if you sign up, you'll get a pack of my best recruiting flyers and labels and that kind of thing. And you'll get a blog post every time I write one. You'll get it in your email. So I write posts 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And that's those are all training emails. And then if you want to search for something, you can search right here. Okay. So if we go back to the full desktop, it's on the right-hand side is where you can sign up, and then there's the search. And if you search for automate, that's the blog post I was just telling you about. Automate your follow-ups. So I talk about automating. I talk about why we did it, why we learned how to do it. There's your link to Campaign Mailer. There's your link to Dial My Calls. And I tell you what I say. There's my link to Text Magic, and I tell you what I say. And so it's all here, okay? So any questions, anything you guys have that you want to ask?
There's a lot of stuff there. Keep in mind, too, we see this on a lot of our calls, but you're not going to do everything there is to do in your business the first day. You're going to start small, and then you're going to grow from there. So, if you have 10 brochures now, we say to order 100. But the key thing is that we found is that if you order brochures, you label the brochures, you hand out the brochures, you get the information from the people, you get their contact information, and then you follow up with a call or a text or an email, whatever, to follow up to get that order, your business will start booming. It really will. We initially, like I said, we started out small too, and we were just kind of fumbling along. We made a lot of mistakes, and we kind of created all these ideas from all of our mistakes that we made. But when we initially started it, we were handing out brochures, but we weren't getting the contact information. And we'd have customers that would order occasionally, but we weren't following up with them. We weren't calling them or texting them or whatever, because a lot of them, we didn't have information. And we learned that was a key to this business. And it doubled and tripled our sales as soon as we started following up after we got the brochure out. And then we started learning how important it was to get that contact information and follow up.
Yeah, he's right. So one thing I wanted to point out, I wanted to go back to this slide. This is how much you want in sales and how many brochures you want. Now, I do not suggest that you go out there and buy 2,000 brochures so that you can have $8,000 in sales. It takes time to build up to that.
Yeah.
It does. It takes time. So start with 100 brochures. If you're not buying 100, start buying 100. If you're already buying 100, bump it to 200. If you're buying 200, bump it to 300. Just keep growing. And then the big key is that you need to get every brochure out. Obviously, they do no good if they're sitting in your living room or your kitchen or wherever, your garage, wherever you put them. You got to get them out. But the other thing is, let me back up a little bit. So here's, these are the higher levels, but here's what you can earn: $1,000 a campaign, $1,800 a campaign, $3,400 a campaign. Like I said, you can get a job. You can work in a job, work 40 hours a week and make that kind of money. You absolutely can. We all know that, right? But you can also make that kind of money with Avon if you're willing to put in the time. And it's not going to take you 40 hours. It might take you 30. It might take you more time in the beginning until you develop a routine for yourself. But you will get to a point where you'll be able to work this in even 20 to 30 hours a week and make the kind of money you would have made in a job. It's not going to happen overnight. It takes time to build. You need to understand that. So you might need a job for a little while. So I'm not telling you don't get a job, okay? But it takes time to build. But once you're at that level and you're earning $3,000 or $4,000 a campaign, and your daughter has dance recitals, or your son has, whatever, football games or little league or whatever, you can be there. You can be there for them. For me right now, I need to be there for my mom. I'm taking her to the doctor like 3 times a week, it seems like. So I need to be there for my mom. And so it's all according to what you want. If you don't want to make that kind of money, then, do 100 brochures and concentrate on getting $500 in sales, and you'd earn $200 a campaign. If you only want to do it for a discount on your products, that's totally okay too. Nobody's telling you have to do more. Okay, it's totally up to you what you want. So Lisa has a really good question. She says, do you find you're missing personal touch with using campaign mailer? No. No, I'm not. And I'll tell you why. Because when you go and you deliver brochures, you don't actually go in and visit with them every time, do you? I mean, if you did, you're not going to build a very big business. But I talk to my business. I mail them their brochures. They call me or text me or email me with an order. I usually have a chance to talk to them then. And then we deliver that order. And of course, we talk to them then because we're delivering the order to them. They are on my email list, so they are getting emails from me. We are in touch with them quite a bit. But the key is, you need to, if you want to build a big business, you need to build it so that, I don't want to call it busy work like it's a waste of time, because it's not. It's never a waste of time. But passing out brochures and doing follow-ups are kind of rote kinds of tasks that don't take a lot of thought or effort or whatever. They can be more automated, so you can spend your time building relationships and getting more customers, growing your customer base, getting more customers, getting more books out there. So I hope that makes sense, because if you want to grow a business, you need to find ways to streamline what you are doing so that you can grow, and then you're not tied to your business. Then you can maybe do it in 20 hours a week instead of 30. Susan, I don't really know how many hours she worked, to be honest with you, but I know that she was making really good money. She was selling, like, I don't know, around 140, 150,000 a year. So she was making good money, and she had the flexibility, though, to be there for her kids. And she was a stay-at-home mom for all those years while her kids were growing up. She did Avon all those years.
Can I say, to respond to Lisa's comment also, we do get personal touch. Like Lynn said, I deliver the orders or I hand out the brochures, and so I'll either see them then. But I'll bet you 99% of our customers would rather get a text from you than a phone call, because people don't like to talk on the phone. They don't want to personally talk on the phone. They would rather have a text, and they can respond back on their time. And it's kind of an impersonal, personal thing with them, if you know what I mean. And so there's plenty of time to get the personal touch in there. We've been delivering orders, getting books out, et cetera. So.
I can't tell you how many times I play in text with a customer or a recruit, a potential recruit for that matter. I call them, they don't answer the phone. I text them, they respond right away.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, can I call you? And then I call them again. They still don't answer the phone. They text me back and with some excuse. And it's like they don't really want it. They don't really want to. And you know who your customers are that need that hand holding, that need that attention. So give it to them.
Yeah. Also when I deliver orders, I used to call all my customers. Now probably 75 or 80% of my customers, they prefer to be text. So I text them. I say, hey, your order's in on a text. And they respond back right away. Cool. And then they give me the time to link up. If I call them, they'll text me back.
Yeah.
So
it's just the way it is these days. But I think you can spend your time building relationships without delivering brochures for that.
Yeah, it'll happen.
They get there. And most of my customers totally, I can't even tell you. We've done a lot of events in the mall recently because we were doing a lot of fundraising for the breast cancer walk, and we picked up a lot of customers that way. And I literally had customers come back to me later and say, I am so refreshed by how professional you are in your Avon business. I've had reps before that weren't consistent. I didn't know if I was ever going to hear from them. And you get a brochure to me every 2 weeks without fail. And then you if I give you an order, you confirm the order back. I always confirm it back, whether it's by text, email, phone. And I tell them approximately when it will be delivered, and they can count on it. And I have had 3 or 4 people come up to me in the mall and say, yeah, I met you here, and I'm so excited that I have you because you guys are so professional. So Patricia says, first she says, oh, yes, I want to make that kind of money. Awesome, Patricia. And then she says, I want to be able to quit my job and work Avon full time. This is how you'll do it. This is 100% how you do it. Start where you're at. Don't go out there and buy 800 brochures, okay? I mean, bump it up. Bump your brochure order up from what you're currently doing and bump it up every campaign and work on getting new customers and work on getting the brochures out to the customers and the follow-ups. They're so critical. The follow-ups is without follow-ups, you don't even have a business. You can do this. There was one other thing I was going to say, and I lost my train of thought.
No, but you can start making money on the side. The biggest thing on this is go ahead.
So do it alongside your job. Yeah. We did. Richard and I both were working 60, 70 hours a week, and I was commuting an hour and a half each way. So we didn't have time to do all this. In fact, we couldn't knock on doors because people don't like you knocking on their door at 11 o'clock at night. So we learned a method, and I actually teach this in my blog on onlinebeautybiz.com, that if you knock on the door and you introduce yourself and you get a name and number and you follow up, out of 100 brochures, you might get 20 or 30 orders. If you just leave it on their doorstep and you don't talk to them, out of 100 brochures, you might get 2 or 3 orders. That's a huge difference. But I was not able to knock on doors and do all of that because I was working so many hours, and so was Richard. And so what we figured out, and over time this worked, with everybody we taught it to, it worked. So it is another way to do it. We would leave the brochure on the doorstep 6 campaigns in a row. So you put the books out on the same 100, or we actually did about 300 at a time, same 300 houses. You leave the books there. You might get 1 or 2 or 3 people call with an order. You put them on your customer list. I add them to my mailing list, okay? Back then I was bulk mailing. I was actually bulk mailing rather than campaign mailer. But I would add them to my list, and I would add them to my follow-up. And then I would go back to the same 300 houses again, the next campaign, and get 2 or 3 new customers. And I would go back again the next campaign. I did it for 6 campaigns. And then we literally would just move to the very next block and do the next 300 houses. That's how we built up to where we were over $100,000 in sales. Also, another thing is that because of that recruiting label, I work on prospecting. I work on trying to build a team. So because of this recruiting, sorry. Because of this recruiting label here, this is what my focus is on recruiting. And trust me, if you ask everybody, if you give out brochures all day long and you ask people, would you like to make extra money selling Avon? You're going to get a lot of no's, but a lot of those no's are going to become customers. And so if you just keep focusing on recruiting, you're going to pick up customers. You can't help it. So, because I know people will tell me, well, I want customers, I don't want recruits. Well, you're going to get both if you aim for recruits, and you're going to make a lot more money if you're working both sides of your business.
Along that topic also, just for sake of example, let's say you make $1,000 a week at your job, at your day job. And if you're able to do the Avon business, and if you made $200 or $300 a week extra every week,
campaign,
even a campaign, that's extra money every month. So let's say you make $1,000 a week at your job, but you make $500 a month extra. That's $500 on top of. You're already paying your bills. You're living your lifestyle, and you're earning $1,000 a week that pays your bills, and you're breaking even. But if you start making this extra money with Avon, you have extra money now. You can either buy a special gift, you can make a car payment, you can pay off bills, whatever it is that you want to do with it. And that's the key to it. And you can grow from there.
Yeah, that's how we got debt free.
Yeah.
Richard and I, once we decided to get serious with Avon, we worked it. Like I told you, I also stand outside grocery stores and pass out books, or Walmart or Kmart or wherever. And yes, by the way, I have been kicked out. Lisa Wilbur, my friend Lisa Wilbur, says if you haven't been kicked out of somewhere, you're not trying hard enough. But I have been kicked out, and you know what? They'll come out and they'll say, I'm sorry, you can't do that here. And I'll go, okay, thanks. And I'll leave, and I'll go to another store. Don't take it personal. Don't take a no personally. If they say no, I actually appreciate the no's, because then I don't have to waste my time. If they're really not interested, I don't want to keep mailing them brochures and spend the money and the time if they're never going to order. So if they're not interested, I want to know that they're not interested. So don't worry about the no's. Did you have something else?
Oh, just a funny story. We go to office buildings and stuff when Lynn was first quit her job, and she was wanting to keep things going, and she'd go to office buildings. But we've even done this in anything that's a tall building. And if there's 5 floors in the building, we won't go into floor 1 and start handing out brochures or asking if somebody wants an Avon brochure. We'll go up to the 5th floor, and we could be on the 5th floor. It doesn't happen very often, but we'll be on the 5th floor and say we go to the 3rd or 4th office. And somebody comes up and says, hey, you can't do that in this building. Oh, I'm sorry. And we'll leave, and we'll get in the elevator and go down to the 4th floor, and we'll start again. And work our way down to the 1st floor and then out the door.
Yeah, because if they kick you out, we actually had this happen at a hospital. We actually went into a hospital in Ventura, and we started at the top floor and hit all the nurses' stations. And we had somebody tell us, you can't do that in here. You need to leave. And we said, okay, thanks. And we went down to the next floor down. Now, if you were to go up, then they're going to know that you're not leaving. So just a little thing we learned. Okay, so that's all we have for you guys today. So I hope that you found it helpful. Go to onlinebeautybiz.com, and there's all kinds of information. In fact, you know what? Let me find my online. Online Beauty Biz. If you go to our group, the group onlinebeautybiz.com, in that group, in the files section, it is in here somewhere. How to host a campaign planning, appreciation, double dollars.
Where's the drawing slips? Is there more?
There's all kinds of stuff in here. Oh, maybe it's not in here. I thought I'll add it. I will add it to here.
I thought it was in there too.
But also, if you go to onlinebeautybiz.com, and if you search for drawing slips, search. Using drawing slips for prospecting. This post actually talks about actually doing drawings, but you don't have to, and you can download it right here. Okay, so just click here, download it here, and it will be a PDF, and you can print that out. Okay, so this post talks about using it for drawings, and I do use it for drawings, but also I use it anytime I want to get their contact information. So,
and if you can't afford to do that, if you're not very techie or you can't afford that right now, buy a stack of Post-it notes. Take Post-it note, stick a Post-it note on each brochure. When you hand it out, say, can you do me a favor and put your information on there for me, contact information, and just write it on the sticky note and get the sticky note from them. Boom, done. Yeah. Patricia,
I'm using an app called BeLive.tv. And Lisa, thank you. Thanks for the goodness shared tonight. We appreciate you. Thank you, guys. Thank you all for coming. Let me go back to solo. Let me go back to us. Okay. So we will see you next Sunday, November 18th, same time, same place. Thank you guys all for being here. We really appreciate you.
Yes, and this is, don't forget, it's fourth quarter. People are either looking for a business or they're looking for a way to buy Christmas gifts. So get out there and have a great week.
And they're looking for a way to get their Christmas gifts at 40% off.
That's right.
So, yeah, Sherry, thank you for all the love, Sherry.
Thanks, everybody.
So, thank you. Patricia says thank you. Rick says thank you. Thank you, guys. Have a great evening.
Have a great evening.
Bye-bye.
See you next week.